Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai. So let's go to our memorization verse for the week, which is 9:29. Talks about how Krishna is equal to everyone, but he favors his devotees. Okay. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. Let's do it again. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. I'll do it again. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Very sweet. Okay, so we're going to chapter 11. We left off on text 34. Text 34. What was that tune that I was using the other day? Oh, you weren't there. Okay. Yeah. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratam cha karnam tatanyam api yodhaviran maya hatam stvam jahimavyastita yudyasva jeta sirane sapatnam. 11:34. Would you like to read, Divya? G?
I would love to. Sorry, you said 11:24?
34.
34. 11:34. I'm just pulling it up. Okay. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have always been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence.
Jai. Thank you. Yeah, so this section is all about aligning ourselves with the will of the Lord, right? We were talking about that a lot in the last class, where, especially because Krishna said, in which verse? He said, just be my instrument, right? Nimitra matram savyasachim. He says, just be, all these soldiers are already killed by me. The battle is already won. And I'm just asking you, I've done it. I've killed them all, or I will kill them all myself. And I just want you to be my instrument. Like it's done. The deed is done, but it's just now a formality. It's just a matter of, paperwork now. You have to just sign on the dotted line. So now he's being particular here. Previous verses he was saying that they're all already put to death. All your enemies are put to death by my arrangement. Yeah, it was text 33. He said, Nimitta matram babasavisachi. And now he's being very specific. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, Karna, because these were the main warriors that Arjuna was having like conflict with, killing, internal conflict. He was in a state of internal conflict because he was thinking, Drona is my teacher, Bhishma is my grandfather. I'm not sure about Jayadrath, but Karna was literally his brother, and it's like, yeah. And so Krishna's naming those and saying, these particular people, the very ones that you think you shouldn't be killing, I've already killed them. They're already destroyed by me. And he's saying simply, so you just don't be disturbed, because either way they're going to die, and you're going to be victorious. So yeah, I mean, Drona, Bhishma, they definitely weren't demons. Karna also, he'd got bad association. He kind of had some bad karma, and also he got bad association. So he sided with Duryodhana. But most of them on the other side were demons. And so Krishna is really calling upon Arjuna to help him in his mission. That is Vinashaya Chadushkritam, right? To destroy the demons. And yeah, I was just thinking that nowadays there's still a lot of demoniac people in the world. Right? In chapter 16, we're going to hear about the divine and demoniac natures. And when we read about the demoniac nature, we're going to be like, oh my God, that's like almost everybody in the world today. So there's still a lot of demons in the world today. And Krishna still, wants these demons to be stopped. And he's asking Arjuna literally to kill the demons. But in this day and age, Lord Chaitanya has taught us what? To what?
To give Krishna name.
Give the holy name. And what does that do?
Huh?
And what does that do?
That purifies them and taking them back to Godhead.
It purifies them, takes them back to Godhead. Yeah. It kills their demoniac mentality. So that was since the time of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. So yeah, there was that incident where Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur were out chanting the holy names and trying to make people devotees, and then they came across these two really sinful criminals named Jagai and Madai, right? They were really, really bad, and they were just tormenting everyone. They were beating old ladies over the head and stealing their money. They were like, throwing blind people into the ditch and raping young girls. And they were just like doing every horrendous thing. They were always drunk and just, really bad. So Lord Nityananda saw them and he thought, well, if I can make these people devotees, then that means there's a chance for everyone. And he was thinking that if by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, these people can be transformed and become devotees, then not only does that give hope to everybody else, because no one's worse than these guys, but also it will glorify Lord Chaitanya's mercy, right? How transformative it is, how powerful the holy name is, how great Lord Chaitanya is, how he actually is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the evidence is that he was able to purify these two people whose hearts were like black coal. Yeah, really bad demons. So then Lord Nityananda went in there and he was like, hey, you two, get up and chant Hare Krishna. And so Jagai and Madai, they were like, you gotta be kidding. Who do you think you are? Get out of here. And they picked up a piece of a broken liquor pot. In those days, they didn't have glass bottles of liquor. They put it in clay pots. But anyways, they picked up the broken piece of clay, threw it as hard as they could at Lord Nityananda's face, and it hit him in the head, and his head was bleeding. So Lord Chaitanya, because he's Krishna, he knows everything. He's omniscient. So he could understand what happened. And then he just arrived there on the scene. He's like, no, this is not happening. And he took his Sudarshan chakra on his finger and he was holding it up like this. And he was just about ready to like decapitate Jagai and Madai, especially Madai, because he was the one who was Madai, right? The one who threw the piece of pot. And then Lord Nityananda was like, no, 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 you can't do that. Please don't do that. And he like grabbed hold of him and he restrained him. And he said, stop. You are the, what do you call it? Mahavadanyaya avatar. You're the avatar of mercy. You didn't come here to kill the demons. You came here to kill the demoniac mentality. So that's what, and Lord Chaitanya does that through distributing the holy name. So yeah, I was thinking that, of course, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, in one sense, Lord Chaitanya is no longer doing his manifest pastimes in this world, but his movement continues. So anyone in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, coming in the line of disciplic succession from Lord Chaitanya, we also have this task, this marching orders, right? Which is to kill the demoniac mentality in people's hearts and minds by giving them the holy name. So that's our fight. That's our battle, is that we're fighting against the demoniac mentality, right? Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, ignorance, pride, all these things, and giving people the process by which they can be freed from those disturbing anarthas, bad qualities, and become devotees. So that's one battle, battling against the material energy to achieve that. But then another battle is our own personal, individual, internal battle, right? With our own demoniac mentality, right? Our own anarthas, our own inner demons. So yeah, it said that in previous ages, in Satya Yuga, the demons and the demigods lived on different planets, right? The demons would have their own planet, like their Death Star planet, where they would all congregate, and then the demigods would like be in the heavenly planets and things. And then in Treta Yuga, the demons and the demigods are in different countries, right? There would be like one state or one country, one kingdom that was all just demoniac people, right? We were just talking about that, right? Jarasanda's kingdom. And then there are other kingdoms, like Maharaj Yudhisthira kingdom, Prita Maharaj, where everybody was like, saintly. And then in what's the next stage? Dwapara Yuga, the demons are in different families. So you would have divine families and demoniac families. But in Kali Yuga, the demons and the demigods are in the same body. So that's our situation, is that we have our little angel on the side telling us, yeah, be a nice person, do good things, be kind and forgiving. And then this other is like, you need to make money and you need to have material things. And why is this person doing something? They're outdoing you. You need to show them up. You need to put them down. You need to get ahead, right? So like that, we have this internal battle going on within ourselves, and but the weapon is the same, right? It's the holy name, chanting the holy name. So the more we chant and chant attentively, chant prayerfully, then the more we can vanquish our enemies in battle. And so that's also Krishna's asking us to do that. He's saying, Arjuna, kill your enemies, do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. So also in the same way that, Arjuna's fight, all he has to do is endeavor. He just has to make the effort and set his mind on it, decide he's going to do it, and work with determination, fight with determination. But really who's making everything happen is Krishna. Krishna is showing that he's actually the person killing. It's his will and he's doing it. So in the same way with us and our fight with our inner demons, we just need to make the effort. We just need to get up in the morning and chant our japa and hear the class and, do the processes of devotional service according to what Srila Prabhupada has given us. And then Krishna is going to kill those inner demons. Krishna is going to clean our heart. It's basically already done, right? It's his desire and it's already done. But we have to basically just comply. We have to be, willing instruments in the fight, and everything will be victorious. Okay, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was really thinking on when you said that we are not killing the demons, we are killing the demonic mentality. Because this is like what I see. Even if we are free from all of our past sins, but if we have the habit of creating like more sins and the same mentality, then we are going nowhere. We kill this demonic mentality, like chasing for sense gratification, Just
Yeah.
listening to going through the Instagram reels. These are all like, I feel like sense gratification and this demonic mentality which is keeping away from Krishna.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, so devotional service is it's like literally the only thing. In the Canto 6 of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the pastime of Ajamil, I think it is, they're talking about how um, somebody can do some atonement, some like ritual for atonement. Let's say if they do some sin and then they realize, oh my God, I messed up, I'm going to get some bad karma for this. Then they can go consult, a Brahmin who knows the Vedic injunctions and can prescribe, okay, you need to do this ritual, and that will counteract your sin, and then you won't have to suffer the sinful reaction. And so the person does it and they get free from the bad karma, but what happens because their mentality is the same, the heart didn't change, they're going to do the same thing again. So Prabhupada says, he gives a couple of examples. One that, someone, he's a thief. So then he gets caught stealing and he goes to jail. They put him in jail for, 5 years or whatever. And then as soon as they let him out, what's he going to do? Steal again, because that's his nature. Or he gives another example that someone has too much sex desire. They end up having illicit sex and they get a venereal disease. And then, it's very painful, very uncomfortable, very annoying. They go to the doctor, they get some medicine, they get cured. And then what happens? Again, illicit sex, because they still have the sex desire, right? The desire is still there. So the point is that if we really want to get free from our entanglement in this world and all the suffering that comes with it, we need to change our desires. We need to change our mentality. There needs to be some purification of the heart. And it doesn't happen by any rituals or anything like that. It happens only by the Lord, the mercy of the Lord, which we invoke by chanting the holy names. Divya, you got your hand up there?
Oh, what you were saying also kind of reminded me, sometimes, like I'm not big at like into book distribution. I want to learn more, but sometimes like when any past experiences I've had, there's almost like I feel almost like this type of anxiety, like self-consciousness, like will they really get what I'm saying? Are they just gonna think I'm weird? And I get into my own mind, rather than it reminds me of when you said one time, real violence is actually not sharing this knowledge, not killing the demonic mentality, or at least not trying to. And so I was gonna say something else, but that was the main thing. And in book distribution, I guess we can also kind of pray to the Paramatma in that person's heart. Please receive this. Please at least read this or accept this to some degree. And that made me think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good point that when we distribute books, it's not like we're just being Krishna's instrument. Actually, Krishna's distributing the books and Krishna's enabling them to understand or not understand. And we're just being his instrument, right? We're just going out there and making the effort and creating a situation in which Krishna can make something happen. But if we just sit at home or sit in the temple, sit in our room with a pile of books on our shelf, then what are the chances that somebody's going to be a devotee, right? But if we get out there and have the books in our bag and, maybe like smile at someone or try to talk to them, then Krishna can work with that. So in the same way, if Arjuna is just slumping on his chariot, being depressed and talking about going to the forest, how's this battle going to happen? So Krishna needs Arjuna to like stand up, put an arrow to the bow and, start shooting weapons, shooting arrows, and then things can happen. Yeah, so that's our part. So our part is easy, we just need to try. And the Bhagavad Gita is all about that, that Krishna says you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you shouldn't be attached to the result of your work. So right also means responsibility, like rights and responsibilities go together. So not only do we have a right to perform our duties or to do our devotional service, but we have a responsibility. Like you said, Divya, that if we don't, that's violence. If we have the medicine and we don't give it to save someone's life, then we're basically killing them. So, yeah, we need to get out there and try our best and leave the rest to Krishna. Okay, good. So now Krishna finished his pep talk here, answering Arjuna's question, who are you? And then this is telling you, this is who I am. I'm time, and I've come here to destroy all people. I'm going to destroy everyone on this battlefield except for you, Pandavas. So just go ahead and fight. So now Sanjay is going to narrate to Dhritarashtra Arjuna's response now after hearing Krishna's, seeing Krishna's universal form, his Kala Rupa, especially the fierce form, and hearing Krishna's words. So let's go to text 35. Sanjay Uvacha Etachchutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalir Vepamana Kiriti Namaskritva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam Sagadgadam Bita Bita Pranamya. Janaki?
Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder, thus began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again, and with faltering voice he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder.
Yeah, so we were talking about the other day about how Arjuna's Sakya-ras, his friendly relationship with Krishna, temporarily gets overwhelmed by the primary rasa of Adbhuta Bhava, which means the rasa, the relationship of wonder, right? Reverence and wonder. Wow, so amazing. And then afterwards it gets overwhelmed again by another secondary rasa, which is Bhayanaka, which means fear, right? Bhaya means fear. So first he was, oh, Krishna, you're my friend. This is really cool. The things you're saying. Can you show it to me? And Krishna's like, sure, Arjuna, whatever. And then he shows it, and then he forgets his friendship, right? And then he becomes afraid. So now let's see. So in this mood of Adbhuta Rasa, Arjuna is going to speak the next section. Arjuna Uvacha Stane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya Jagat Prahishyatyanurajyate cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti cha Siddha Sangha. Pragati.
Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected being offer you their respectful homage, the difference are great and every here and there. All this is lightly done. Purport. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened. And as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they flee. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all.
Jai. Yeah, so here we're seeing two very different responses, right, to the universal form. So the first is that the pious people are becoming joyful. It says they're becoming joyful upon hearing your name, and everyone is becoming attached to you. So yeah, prahishyati means they're rejoicing. And then anurajyate, Prabhupada translates, is becoming attached. Literally means like to fall in love. right? Rajite is like coming from rati, which means like falling in love, basically. So the good people, those who are rightly situated, stani, they're seeing the glories of Krishna, and seeing this universal form is making them more attached to Krishna, more rejoicing, celebrating Krishna even more, and falling in love with him even more, becoming attached to him even more. And then the Rakshasas, right, it says Rakshamsi, what are they doing? They're fleeing. They're running here and there in all directions. They're running away. So this is like, at the beginning of the battle, the demons were happy to know that Krishna wasn't going to fight, right? When Krishna announced that I won't fight, so one side can have me and one side can have my army, but I'm not going to fight. So then all the demons were happy. Oh, what's the use of Krishna if he's not going to fight? But now when he showed the universal form, then they realized that Krishna doesn't need to fight to win. All he has to do is desire that to win, that Arjuna wins and the Pandavas are going to win. Because whatever Krishna wills to happen, will happen. Krishna's will is what will be done. So, going back to kind of like a outreach application for this is that, there are people out there with who are not devotees, who are, a lot of them are, demoniac qualities, but a lot of them are just that way because they don't know any better, right? They just, eat meat because no one ever really convinced them that it was wrong, that there was anything fundamentally wrong with that. So, so we need to present Krishna consciousness in a way that doesn't make people run away. Krishna, he showed the universal form and all the demons ran away. So then what's the use of that? We want to be able to actually, attract the nice people, right? So the nice people were attracted, but the demons ran away. But even like people who are demoniac, we want them to hear the holy names, to take prasadam. So we have to organize our festivals and programs and things in such a way that that they feel like, okay, this is kind of interesting or maybe enjoyable, or at least the food's good or whatever, right? And they can get some benefit, because that's Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya's mission is not just to deliver the pious, but to deliver the whole universe, right? Every town and village, make no discrimination between the saints and the crooks, who's pious, who's impious, who's qualified, who's not qualified, doesn't matter. Lord Chaitanya is just breaking open the storehouse of love of God, distributing the contents to everyone without discrimination. So we want to please Lord Chaitanya by giving everyone access in some way, shape, or form to Krishna consciousness. All right. So no one's allowed to show their universal form because it might scare someone. What's that? You what?
I missed the universal form.
Oh, you have to go back and read it. Tuesday. I think we had 2 classes where we talked about it, I think. Yeah, Friday and Tuesday. Friday and Monday. Yeah, Friday and Monday. Okay, text 37. Kasmachchatena namaran mahatman gadis se brahmano bhyadikartre ananta devesha jagannivasa tam aksharam sad asat tat param yat. I have the names of the gurus here. Mahatma, Adikarta. Mahatma Adikarta. Someone could also be named Ananta or Jagannivas. There's a lot of names here. Okay. Alia or Aruna, would you like to read the translation and purport for text 37?
Yes.
Please.
O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisance unto you? O limitless One, God of gods, refuge on the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. By this offering of obeisance, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord, and Devesha means that he is the controller of all demigods and he is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fighting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisance unto him, because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentioned that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem ground from the navel and the abdomen of Garbhodakashayi, Vishnu, who is Krishna plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisance. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Ashsaram is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme.
Jai, thank you. So in the last line of the previous verse, it says, Sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangha. So this was another group of people that we didn't talk about. So the pious people were becoming more attached to Krishna. The demons were running away as fast as they could. And the siddhas, the perfected beings from the higher planets, they were all offering their obeisances. So then Arjuna's reflecting on this and he's saying that why wouldn't they offer respectful obeisances? Like, who wouldn't offer respectful obeisances to you? Because after all, you're the greatest, right? You are Mahatma. You are the greatest soul. And Gaudiya say Brahmana, you're better than Lord Brahma. Brahma is the original created being in this universe. He's the chief of the highest planet, which means he's the chief being, the most exalted or most materially highly situated person in the universe. But you're greater than him, like much, much greater than him, and totally another category than Brahma. And then you are also Adikarta, the original. Adi means original, and Karta means the doer or the creator or the maker. You're the supreme creator. You are Ananta, you're unlimited. Anta means end, and Ananta means without end. So you're unlimited without end. You're Devesha, which means Deva means the demigods, and Isha means controller, which means you're the controller of the demigods, the lord of the demigods, or Prabhupada says, O God of gods, you're the God of all the demigods. And then Jagat Nivas. Jagat means the universe, and Nivas means the shelter or the refuge. So you're the shelter for everyone in this universe. You are Aksharam, imperishable, and supreme to Sat and Asat. Right? There's Sat, things that are eternal, and Asat, things that are temporary, or Sat can mean things that are real, and Asat can mean things that are illusory. And he says that you are the cause of both and transcendental to both. So who wouldn't offer you obeisances? In every category, you are worshipable. You are the supreme. You are wonderful and impressive and great. So these are all names of Krishna. All these are names. That's why I'm saying we have devotees who have these names, right? Like I know someone named Mahatma, I know someone named Adikarta, I know someone named Ananta, I know someone named Devesha, I know someone named Jaganivas or Jananivas. And yeah, so these are all names of the Lord. And they're in the category of names of the Lord that it's they're called secondary names because they're all in reference to Krishna's relationship with this world, with the material world. So yeah, Krishna has primary names and secondary names. And the primary names are the most sweet, most intimate, and most pleasing to Krishna. The primary names are, do you know what they are?
Govinda, Madhav.
Yeah, all the names that have to do with Krishna's relationships with his eternal associates in the spiritual world, right? Like Govinda, who gives pleasure to the cows, Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune, or that could also mean like the one who enjoys Madhurya Rasa with the gopis, or yeah, Gopi Janavalabha, Keshava with curly, beautiful curly hair, or who killed the Keshi demon. Yashoda Nandana, son of Mother Yashoda, Radha Vallabha, dear to Radharani, Radharaman, who gives pleasure to Radha, Shamasundar, who's blackish and beautiful. Yeah, so those are all very sweet primary names. But it's also important for us to understand the Lord's relationship with this world. But when we chant the holy names, we get we get Krishna's attention more quickly when we use his primary names. That's what those primary names really make Krishna like turn his head. Because one, because they're very sweet, they're very like intimate names, and two, because they're very exclusive, right? Like it's only him. He is the only person who is Radha Raman is him. Like there's no other boy that gives pleasure to Srimati Radharani, right? It's only Krishna. Yashoda Nandana, he's the only son of Mother Yashoda. So if you say that, you're talking about Krishna. You're not talking about anyone else. Whereas these other names can refer equally to Lord Vishnu or different Vishnu Tattva incarnations. Right? They're all greater than Brahma. They're all unlimited. They're all transcendental to the material manifestation. They're all like in charge of the demigods, like that. Okay, good. Yeah, so the more we focus on Krishna, then the more we get Krishna's mercy. Yeah, and we see that when Arjuna is in that friendship rasa, when he's in that mood of friendship, then what does he call Krishna? Madhava,
Oh yeah, all those names.
Madhusudana. Yeah, there's a few different names he calls him in the Bhagavad Gita, but they're more sweet. Where here he's seeing the universal form. So he's in this mood of like awe and reverence, seeing the universal form. So he's offering these universal form names. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Tvam Adideva Purusha Puranas Tvam Asya Vishvasya Param Nidanam Vetasi Vedyam Chaparam Chadama Tvaya Tatam Vishvamanantarupam. Aruna, are you there? Would like to read? It's busy working. And Janaki, you're reading it.
You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Everything is resting on the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is the ultimate test. Niranam means that everything, even Brahman effulgence, rests on the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world, and if knowledge has any end, he is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, he is the known and unknowable. He is the object of knowledge because he is all-pervading. Because he is the cause in the spiritual world, he is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world.
Right. Yeah, so here you can see that Arjuna, he's very overwhelmed by the universal form, and he's just like, he's kind of like stunned, not stunned like that he can't speak, but he's like, I mean, he's speaking, but all he can do is speak the glories of the Lord. He's just speaking like, you are this and you are that, right? He's repeating this word tvam, which means you. Tvam Adi Deva Purusham Puranas. Tvam Asya Vishvasya Param Dina. Twayi, that means by you. Tatam Vishvam Anantarupam. By you, this whole universe is pervaded. So he's just saying, you are this and you are that. You are the oldest. You are the ultimate sanctuary. You are the knower of everything. You are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge. And the previous verse, you are the original creator. You are unlimited. You are the refuge of the universe. Again, he's like repeating himself even, like he's being a little redundant here with the glories. But he's just like, you are this and you're that and you're everything and everything comes from you and everything's pervaded by you and you're amazing and you're unlimited and oh my God, what else can I say about you? I don't even, right? He's like, he's just going on and it continues. 39. Vayuryamognir Varuna Shashanka Prajapatisthvam Prapitamahascha Namo Namaste Stu Sahasrakritva Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. Pragati?
You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times and yet again. The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods. Being all pervasive, Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe.
Yeah, so same thing, right? You are air, you are the moon, you are fire, you are water. There's nothing that exists that isn't you. And that's really being impressed upon him because that's what the universal form is. It's the form, everything in the universe is in that form. So whatever you can name within this universe is included in the universal form, and Krishna is showing that he is that. Everything is his energies, everything comes from him, everything is him, and he is the universe, yeah. So, of course, he's not only the universe. That's just a very small. That's what we learned at the end of the 10th chapter, right? End of the 10th chapter, he says, was it? Oh yeah. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor, right? Just an umpsha, just a tiny little speck, a little part, a little beam, of my energies, my splendor. And then he says, then he kind of like elaborates, he says, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Single fragment. So this whole universal form that Arjuna is seeing, which is just overwhelming him, which is like immense and inconceivable and like unlimited, it's just a single fragment of Krishna. It's just a spark of his splendor. It's literally nothing compared to who he is, right? And Krishna in his two-armed form is just so, so, so much more than the universe. He's so much more wonderful. He's so much more powerful. He's so much more beautiful. But his beauty is different. It's not, and his power is different. It's not a kind of power that bowls you over. It's a power that wins your heart, melts your heart, and his power is sweetness, right? Yeah, his power is not Aishvarya, which means opulence, but his power is Madhurya, which means sweetness. So that's another reason he's called Madhava, because he's the sweetest. Sweeter than honey, right? Madhu means honey. Okay. So now, but anyways, Arjuna's looking at the universal form and he's forgotten all about Krishna's sweetness and he's just like, oh, this is like a lot. And so what do you do when you see somebody that's so powerful, so wonderful, so amazing, and makes you feel like you're a tiny little insignificant speck compared to their opulence and strength? You offer obeisances. So that's what he's going to do. Nama purustad ata prishtataste namostute sarvata eva sarva anantaviryamita vikramastvam sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. Did you just read Pragati? Huh? Divya, would you like to read? Oh, Devi can't read. Alia,
Yes.
text 40, please.
Obeisance to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. All bounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Out of the loving ecstasies for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all power prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana. I don't know if this is a song.
We can say this together. Yo yam tavagato deva samipam devatana tatvam eva jagat shwasta yata sarvagato bhavan.
Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right. Yeah, so Arjuna is in the last verse he said, it ended here. Namo Namaste. So Namo Namaste means offering obeisances, right? I offer my obeisances to you. And he says Sahasra Kritva. Sahasra means 1,000 times. I'm doing it 1,000 times. And then Punas means again. Sorry, means Punas Cha means and again. Bhuya means again. Api means also. Namaha, offering my respect. And then again, no, Namo Namaste. So you're saying Namo Namaste, Stu Sahasra Kritva. I offer my obeisances to you thousands of times. And then Punaschabuyo, again and again. Api Namo Namaste. I offer my obeisances to you. So that was the last verse. He's saying, I'm offering my obeisances again and again, 1,000 times and more, and again and another 1,000 times. And then, so that's like how many times he's offering obeisances. And now this verse is where he's offering those obeisances, which is all around 360 degrees, right? From the front, from behind, from all sides, right? Yeah, Purustat means from the front. Prishtata means from behind. And Sarvata means all from all sides. So he's literally just like, yeah, he's overwhelmed. He's like, you can, so what the thing is that the universal form is not just in front of him, it's all around, it's filling the whole sky. So wherever he looks, he can turn all the way around and he sees this universal form just everywhere. So he's thinking, if I offer my obeisances only here, it's gonna this part, but there's also that part and this part and that part. And so he's just wanting to offer obeisances like everywhere he turns and again, because he's seeing all these different forms also, right? And he's realizing that all these forms are also Krishna. So you can't just offer obeisances to one form. You don't want to forget anyone. So you got to offer obeisances to all the different forms on all the different sides, and it's unlimited. So he's got to offer unlimited obeisances. So he's just feeling like, yeah. Okay. Now he's going to, so now this goes into a little bit of a different mood here, because previously Arjuna was friendly with Krishna. Now he's, realizing he's the great and source of everything, and he's offering obeisances. And now he's reflecting on how he used to see Krishna as his friend, and how he used to just, when you're with someone who's your friend, you just like hang out with them, you relax with them, you joke with them, sometimes you tease them, and you just kind of like, you know, you don't disrespect them, but you don't respect them either. You're just like, hey, what's up? Right? So it's like you're nice to them and stuff, but you're not like reverential. So now he's in this reverential mood with totally different like rasa, and he's thinking back on how the Sakya rasa pastimes they'd have together. He's just like, oh my God. I was just treating this person as my friend. What a fool I was. I must have offended him a million times, and he didn't even say anything. Anyway, so now he's expressing his lamentation for behaving inappropriately with such a personality, or what he feels like is inappropriate. Okay, 41, 42. Saketi matva prashabam yaduktam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Yachavaha sartama satkritosi. Vihara shayasana bhojaneshu. Eko tavapyachuta tatsamaksham takshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Janaki?
Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend, Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about, that the Sakya Ras, that's his Sthayi Bhav. So Sthayi means fixed. So even though these waves are like waves of astonishment, waves of fear are coming over him, but when the waves settle down, what's left? Friendship, the Sakya Ras, yeah. So, and it's always there. It's not like it goes away. It's always just, that's the foundational relationship. And then sometimes the foundation gets a little covered with something else, but the foundation is still there. It's always there. It's there strong. And as soon as those other feelings subside, that's what it's back to Sakya Ras. So, yeah. So even though Arjuna is feeling a lot of wonder, he's remembering his friendship. Just that the wonder is making him ashamed of his friendship. Feel ashamed of his intimacy with Krishna. And so, just saying, "Oh, my friend," as if he's just an ordinary, he's thinking, "Oh, I must have offended you calling you my friend, because I'm an ordinary person and you're an extraordinary person, and friend means, yeah, that we're equals. So I've insulted you by calling you my equal, treating you as my equal." Or, if you call someone just by their first name, somebody who's a great person, like the president of the United States, you're going to be like, "Mr. President," you're not going to like be like, "Hey, Don," that would be like offensive, right? It would be inappropriate. The person would be like taken aback by that. So, and then, oh, Yadava, particularly Yadava, because Arjuna was from the Kuru dynasty and Krishna was from the Yadu dynasty. And the Yadu dynasty were cursed that they could never become kings. So, but the Kuru dynasty was the dynasty that, because the Yadu dynasty couldn't become kings, they became all the rulers, all the royal families and kings of the planet. Krishna had his little Dwarka, but that was like his homemade little island in the sea that no one else, it was just him and his family, right? It was basically like his estate. It wasn't a kingdom where he had people, it was just his like extended family home. So, yeah. So he wasn't really like a king politically speaking in that sense. Uh, because he couldn't be, because he was a Yadu. And yeah. So uh so to call him Yadava, for someone in the Kuru dynasty who were the royal family, to call someone else Yadava, it was kind of like saying, yeah, you're kind of like second class Kshatriya because you can never be a king. So it was kind of like, it was teasing, it was a way that the Kshatriya boys would like tease each other. And that's why he brings that up. But the interesting thing is that Krishna would actually rather have that intimate friendship than the on-reverence relationship. Because everybody's like, oh God, you're so great. You're the creator, you're the controller, you're the maintainer, and all that. And there's very few people that are just going to be like, yo, Krishna, what's up? Or Krishna, what are you doing that for? That's silly. Or Mother Yashoda, you naughty Krishna, I'm going to tie you up. Right. So, and Krishna actually enjoys those intimate, sweet relationships where they, although all of Krishna's eternal associates know that he's God, but it's not that they're ignorant. They know that he's God, but they just don't really care. Like it's eclipsed by their love. Their knowledge of his divinity is just like, it doesn't really matter. It's like in a family, let's say somebody he's like the head of some huge company. He owns some billion-dollar corporation. He's like, you know, the chief person. And but then he's with his family and the kids are just like, and his wife's just like, what's wrong with you? Why are you leaving your socks lying around on the floor? And the kids are just like, Daddy, don't be silly. Whatever. They don't care that he's like in charge of, thousands of people that are just like, you know, that when he raises an eyebrow looking dissatisfied with their work, they're like trembling that they're going to lose their jobs or something. They know that he has a high position. They know that he's like, a big dude, but they don't really care because it's irrelevant to their relationship. They're going to love him and interact with him in their intimate ways regardless, right? So that's the situation of the Brajbasis. So yeah. And there's a saying that it's lonely at the top. So if someone's like a big leader, it's like it's hard for them to have friends because everyone's thinking like Arjuna, oh my God, it would be offensive to think of you as my friend. Right. So they can get lonely. And that's why Krishna comes to Vrindavan. That's why he's always in Vrindavan, but that's why he descends with his holy Dham, Vrindavan Dham, to this world and demonstrates his very sweet Vrindavan Leela so that we can so that he can enjoy those pastimes and so that we can also be attracted and hopefully he's hoping he can get more people to have those kinds of relationships with him. Okay. All right. So, but then another point to remember is that even though Krishna is more pleased with intimacy than he is with reverence, but still we have to be careful to not prematurely think that we are very intimate with Krishna. That, Krishna and I are like this, so I don't have to worry if I, do some nonsense. Krishna's got my back. And, so we still need to have like in the beginning of our spiritual lives, unless we actually like realize our eternal constitutional position with Krishna or something. But yeah, for the most part, we need to follow the principles and, behave ourselves and be submissive to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, like that. Okay. All right. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. So we're actually almost done with this. No, this chapter goes a little bit more. Okay, so we shall continue tomorrow. Oh, but before that, reflections. Anything that struck you from today's class that you're gonna go away thinking about a little bit or apply in some way in your life?
Yeah, I like when, like, the first thing when in the first verse, when you say that we need to think of destroying the mentality of the demonic mentality instead of demons, and bring everyone to, like, give them the chance, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to give them the chance to get their heart purified. And then I like the Arjuna's prayers, because all these prayers, like prayers of Kunti, prayers of Arjuna, they help us to see Krishna in a different way, like how they are seeing. And even by reciting their prayer, it feels so good. Like Arjuna is overwhelmed. He's speaking like all the things he could. you're air, you're this, you're that. So that's really sweet.
Yeah, nice reflections. Thank you. How about you, Jonix?
I was thinking, I was appreciating the killing the demoniac mentality part of it. And I was also appreciating Arjuna's different moods. And I was thinking about how like you were just saying, like like his normal fixed position is just to be a friend. And it just comes out naturally. That's just who he is with Krishna. But then as soon as he's like thinking, he's like, oh, but you are great. And so you deserve respect. You are like limitless. He like acknowledges like the opulence and he comes, but naturally when he's just like in love and with his friend, it just comes out naturally. So if it's not coming out naturally for us, and we like have to kind of make ourselves Krishna conscious and by following our sadhana and stuff like that, then also we can remember that like I need to give respect, I need to like have this like kind of mood until it comes out naturally.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah. That's kind of like how Vaidhi sadhana bhakti leads to Raganuga sadhana bhakti, right? So in the beginning, we don't have attachment to Krishna, but at least we know theoretically that, God is great and I'm small and I need to take shelter of him and please him by serving him. So then we do it and we find out from scripture and from gurus, how to do that service. And then we just discipline ourselves and have accountability with mentors and gurus and do it. And then gradually by doing those things, knowing that God is great, then we get closer in our relationship with Krishna, and then some natural feelings, more intimate relationship develops. Yeah. Very nice. How about you all out there in Zoom land? Any thoughts, reflections on this, what we read today? What do you think, Alia?
I was thinking that this saying about the relationship and the develop of that relationship with Krishna in a sense of from fear and for my part like ignorance and then to get to know more about Krishna and then transform that fear or that ignorance to respect and also friendship. I was thinking about that and how to build that trust like inside of me and relationship with myself also and with others without judgment or without um fear, just trying to be a good person, but also open that door and build that relationship with Krishna also in service. But yeah, I was thinking more how to do that and how special could be, have so intimate relationship. I think how to evolve from respect and and service and devotion to get more intimate to that relationship.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And it's it's a fact that in practically every religion, people who first who are kind of like new or kind of like immature in their relationship with God, they believe in God, but they tend to see God either as like a punisher or an order supplier. Like someone that they go to pray, to ask for things for their, to make their material lives better, cure their disease or help them win the lottery or help them pass their exam or something like that. Or they see God as somebody who, if they do something wrong, he's going to punish them, right? He sees everything and he will punish them for that he punishes sinners and sends them to hell or get bad karma or whatever like that. So then they're afraid of him. They go to him to ask for things, but it's like, I'm afraid of you because you have a lot of power and you could hurt me and you could punish me and you could throw me down to hell or something like that. But but then as you develop in your relationship with Krishna, then you see that he doesn't exist just to punish people, he actually is very loving and very compassionate. And he actually he's all about love. He doesn't want to punish anyone. He actually doesn't even, he hardly even punishes anyone. He generally sets up systems, that just do that because he doesn't want to deal with, just like, the president of the country is not the one who punishes criminals. He creates a, criminal justice department and a prisons and with prison guards and wardens and things like that do that. And he doesn't have to think about it because that's no fun, like who wants to do that? But, yeah, but someone who is totally independent and has, absolute freedom to interact with people. They don't want to hurt people. They want to love people because that's what makes people happy, is to love and be loved. So that's the relationship Krishna wants with us. And the more we know about Krishna, the more we learn about his personality and his qualities, then the more we can have faith that, that he cares about us, he loves us, he wants to have a close, sweet, personal relationship with us. And then the more we can develop that, do our part, because it's mutual. Krishna wants to love us, but we also have to want to love him, and then we can have a loving relationship. So, yeah, we really need to move on from like fearing God to loving God. And that's what bhakti is all about. Okay, Divya. Divya, you got your hand up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me? Okay. What I was saying is sorry, where I am is kind of loud, but what you were saying before reminded me of the pastime with the gopis, and Krishna had a headache. And he was saying like the only thing that would relieve his headache was like the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees or something like that. And I guess all the other inhabitants or all the other personalities around were saying, no, like we can't do that. That would be an offense to put the dust of our lotus feet on Krishna's head. We'll go to hell. And the gopis immediately collected dust and put it on his head. And their mentality was that, well, we can go to hell, but at least his headache, he'll be relieved of his headache. So they had that, their love over fear. That kind of reminded me of that pastime.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't afraid at all, right? Even of hell. But to speak of being afraid, yeah, they were like, that's fine. We just want to make him happy. Yeah, so that's a very advanced position that the gopis had, that they would say things like, if our suffering gives Krishna happiness, then our suffering is our greatest happiness. And if our happiness causes Krishna any kind of suffering, then our happiness is our greatest suffering. In other words, we don't care about how we feel. We just want Krishna to be happy. So that's a very, very high state of surrender that we can aspire for and be inspired by the gopis and the Brajvasis in general. Basically all have that mood. Okay, thank you very much. We shall conclude the class today and see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi.